Good evening and welcome to Match of the Day. Joining me tonight will be obviously Sam, San Antonio Spurs for life, as we will be previewing Tottenham Hotspur versus Nottingham Forest. Sorry for that introduction. It should have been welcome to Match of the Day without my special guest, but for some reason I didn't manage to take him off screen. However, it's not Match of the Day. I'm just rehearsing and practicing for tomorrow night because obviously they've got no Gary Lineker, no Ian Wright, Alan Shearer's not doing it as well. But Paxton Road's famous own number 1 and 2, Sam Antonio Spurs for life. It's a mouthful. And Sid _ Spurs. We are available. We are available tomorrow evening. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, Sam's back. Sam is back. He has missed everything that's been happening in the world of Tottenham Hotspur Football Club. However, he has been following. We have been having conversations, but the man's not been here to rant, rave, whatever. Instead, he's been loving it like this. He's loving it like that. Good evening, Sam. How are you?
Good evening. It's good to be back. It's good to be back. I'm very well, thank you. Thank you, Sid. As you can see, changing name for a little while. San Antonio Spurs for life, because I see what was getting off. I see what was getting off over the last couple of weeks. I've not been here, and I've tried my best. I tried my very best to stay away from it. You just can't. It drags you in. The WhatsApp groups, the messages, all of it. And it's been quite a couple of weeks, shall we say. We're back where we always are. Back where we always are.
Do you know what? There used to be this program on telly back in the days, yeah? It used to be called Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Do you know what? We need to recall this show now. The Fresh King of Paxton Road TV.
Oh dear.
Right.
But no, I'm fine. I'm very tired. I've been away. You've used me already know. I've been to Dominican Republic, Punta Cana. Absolutely fantastic. 29, 30 degrees every day. Luckily, it had sunshine every day. And the last day we're leaving, it starts to rain a little bit, which is typical, isn't it? And then you get back and it's snow here, which is typical again. So
absolutely.
Madness.
Absolutely.
But no, I'm all right, good. All good. Ready to talk Spurs again and kind of maybe dissect a bit of what's been going off, depending on how long we're on for.
Yep. So obviously it's over to Sid and Sam for the match analysis of Nottingham Forest versus Tottenham Hotspur. And joining us in the comment section, we will have David Clark, Dinosaur, Jews Nuts, all with their comments, and many, many more people that are listening and watching. And we'll be analysing the whole game, the preview, what's been going on. And unfortunately, you've got us as the best commentators, the presenters. So match of the day, if you're watching BBC, come on. Right, Sam, let's get this road on the shore. Or the show on the road. Tottenham Hotspur versus Nottingham Forest at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium tomorrow, 3 p.m. kickoff. And I had to put Richarlison in there because of what's been happening this week and what Conte said today as well about him. So we've got to stick him on number 9.
What is going on? I've not really heard. I kind of see a few tweets and a few Instagram stuff, but I've not, as I said, tried to keep away. It's not looking nice. Nice.
Have you heard what Conte said?
No.
Okay, I'm going to play this. So everybody, if you haven't listened, you need to listen to this, because this, honestly, this is like, what is this guy already? Here we go. Oh, 1 second.
He didn't criticize me. He said my season is and it's right, because his season is not good, because he had a lot of injuries. He started well with us, he had an injuries in Champions League. Then he went in a World Cup, and they missed to win the World Cup, and he had another injuries, serious. He come back and he stayed 1 month out, and then another injuries. He scored 0 goal with us, only 2 goals in Champions League. I think that the guys was really honest to tell that his season is not good, but his season, our season, has not still finished, and he has the time to recover, and if he deserves to play, and I'll give him the opportunity. Otherwise, we'll play another player. Then if you ask me for the rest of the interview, I think that the guy understood very well that he made a mistake, because when you speak with I, and not with us, it means that you are thinking only to yourself.
There you go.
Kinda.
I. Yes.
Kind of
Aye.
cryptic messages and undercover backhand comments is going off in that interview.
Oof. But the telling thing for me was, if I want to play him, I will play him for the remainder of the season. You know what that means, don't you? He ain't gonna be playing anymore.
He ain't playing no more.
No.
He ain't. He basically said, "Listen, he understands the season has been good because of his injuries, but you can't do what he did." Because I'm assuming that Richarlison must have said something in a tweet or on an interview or something to suggest that he's not playing. And is it to do with Conte not pick? I don't know.
Oh, you've completely. You've missed it all, haven't you?
I've missed it, man. This is what I'm saying.
Basically, Richarlison said after the game, it's been a shit season.
Mm-hmm.
And then also, I'm just narrowing it down. He also said, I played well against Chelsea. I played well against West Ham. We won both them games. He then told me that I will be starting. Then he gave me some kind of a fitness test. And now he's put me to the bench.
Oh,
right? Then he's turned around and said, this is unacceptable in one of the biggest competitions in the world. And you're not playing to attack. You should be attacking. It's unacceptable. Oh, he's gone. Richarlison's gone for him, mate. Big time.
Richarlison's not playing anymore for Spurs whilst Conte's there. Are you mad?
And if anybody didn't watch the reaction show yesterday, you need to watch the reaction show, because myself, Pav, and Sean were on there, and bullets were fired. Shots were fired yesterday. Sean absolutely told the truth. He was not a happy man. So, Sam, when you get a moment when you come back to reality, jet lagged yourself, and everything's all calm, have a look at yesterday's show, because I tell you what, oof, it was toxic, man. It was good. It was a really good 1 hour, 22 minutes. It was really good. So,
let's get on with this. Let's get on with this.
Right. Tottenham Hotspurs versus Nottingham Forest. As the table stands, and they say the table never lies, Arsenal are at top, 26, 63 points. Then Manchester City, 26, 58 points. Manchester United, 25, 49 points. Spurs, 26, 45 points. Liverpool, 25, 42 points. Then comes Newcastle, 24, 41. And Nottingham Forest in 14th place, 25 games, 26 points. 2 months to go, Sam. This is now where it's hotting up, isn't it?
This is where it's going to be down to the players. There's a lot of disharmony now within the playing staff, the management, the players, the hierarchy of the club. As I said many times on the WhatsApp messages that we had, it's the whole club. It's N70. We need to really shake up the whole everything. But in the short term, that's not going to happen. So I'm just looking at the players now. They're going to have to dig themselves out of a hole. I saw something about the Milan game where they brought off Kulishevsky, brought on centre-back. So obviously Conte's playing kamikaze management now. He's either trying to get himself sacked or just showing, listen, I don't really care, or both. Or, you know, he's just, I don't know. I don't know what else it can be. Is he, because he can't be obviously trying to, show the board that he wants to get another contract in June, if he's doing things like that when you're 1-0 down in a Champions League round of 16 game. Anyway, like I said, this is just the connecting bit I'm trying to get to. I think the players are going to have to take collective responsibility and think to themselves. Players like Harry Kane, Son, the Højbjergs. We know that our midfield is now a little bit stretched, but we've still got some talent in there. We've got Skip, and that's how I like to look at him as well. So we're going to have to try and get ourselves around it and get through it. Players, it's just the players. If they can avoid making mistakes, Conte will set them up in the same way. If they score the first goal, home games particularly, we've got to win all the home games. You can't afford to lose home games. This is a home game against a team in 14th place that have just come up to the Premier League. Yeah, it's down to the players.
Yeah, and you'll like this one. Sorry to go back to Wednesday. He took off Perisic and bought on Pedro Porro to play left wing back. Then he swapped him and Emerson Royal over, and then he took Emerson Royal off. There you go.
He's kamikaze. We've seen the likes of this before. I remember we've had similar shows when we were saying, what's Jose doing? What's going on? Why is he not doing this? In the Everton game was the one where we just sat back and we could see that was going to be his last game when Jose was in charge. This is a similar type of thing. Conte, Jose, those level of managers, it has to be their way. They have a little bit of wriggle room, but not much. If they get told one thing and they don't get it, they're going to sulk. My problem and issue with that is it's at our cost. It's always going to be at our cost. Kamikaze management, trying to get yourself sack management so you can get another 10 million in the bank. This is what this is all about. If they gave Conte a contract now, would the majority of Spurs fans be happy? No, because the standard of football has been atrocious at times. We've had some good results. We scored a lot of goals, but there's too many mistakes in this. So I just have to say to any player watching, any of you guys watching, if you don't want me to keep supporting San Antonio Spurs, you have to beat Forest on Saturday.
Right. So, as it stands, we're fourth, they're 14th. We've won 14, they've won 6. 3 draws, they've had 8 draws. We've lost 9, they've lost 11. This is the bit you like. 1.77 average goals per match, as opposed to their 0.8. 1.38 average goals conceded. They've conceded 1.76. 9 clean sheets, 7 to them. Chances created per match, 1.54 to Spurs, 0.88 to Nottingham Forest. Talk to me, Sam, about your favourite bits on this.
Interesting. As we go further down into the season, we're 26 games in, the stats begin to really tell per game what's happening. Obviously, you can have spikes in there, but when it starts to level out and even out over a season, you get to see. And as always, these things that I've always looked at, Spurs score goals. We still unless Liverpool have now taken over us with that huge amount that they scored against Man United. Then we've scored 4th highest, 3rd highest in the Premier League. Problem is at the back, as we can see, mistakes lead to goals. But it's not just mistakes; it's mistakes in the wrong moment, if that makes any sense. What I'm saying is, in key moments of a game when we just needed to be sensible, we do silly things. I'm saying that Forster's probably being in goals, probably been a good thing, but then saying that he's not got much confidence as well when he sees some of the things and players in that back line that are just not good enough. I know there was the Dyer experiment. It was Longlet at centre and it was Romero and Davis in the Milan game. So, yeah, he's obviously trying to... Is Dyer injured? Is he injured?
No, Dyer's back. He was suspended, wasn't he, on Wednesday?
Oh, right. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
so looking at the stats again, we create chances. We do concede goals. And my concern is the conceding of goals at the wrong times. If we concede first in the first half, we haven't really recovered in many games. I know we've seen some. If we score the first goal at home, there should be no reason why Forest should win that game against us. But we're fragile, and I don't want to see us have to chase games because Kamikaze Conte will do what he's done. If he sees the players are making these foolish errors leading to goals, he doesn't care. He's just going to throw on Sanchez instead of throwing a forward on. He's just going to take off the goalkeeper and probably put Skip in goal. He's going to start doing some mental things. And this is going to be at our cost. So we have to let the players take some ownership and just say to themselves, this is our careers here. we don't want to be looked at as being some sort of players that just chuck in the towel or can't play football, because that's what it looks like at times, that we can't play football, regardless of the management and how they put them team together. Individual players can collectively play together to win a game of football. I don't care what anybody tells me, if they're good enough. But that's the problem. Not all our players are good enough, and not all our players care.
Do you know what? This is it. And yesterday, on Wednesday, it did sort of prove who wants to play, who's interested, who's not interested, because you played 2 Champions League games in a round 16 and didn't score 1 goal, which it's absolutely madness.
And the second leg being at home, which is always the advantage when you're just narrowly down 1-0. No more away goals, remember. So there's no panic of them scoring first and then having to be 2-0 up and having to score 3. There was none of that. So it just doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense.
No. Head to head, we've only played 11 times, but as you can see, we've had 4 wins. They've had 6 wins. We've had 2 draws at home. They've had 3 draws at home. We've won 2 away. They've won 3 away. So
nothing in that really, because they're all going back to some old days. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we have to look at how they're playing, how we're playing. Now, Forest have got, you know, the facially challenged manager in charge, and like I said, he's good. He's Steve Cooper. I'm making jokes here. Steve Cooper knows what he's doing. Another player, another manager that's tactically astute, has been in the England South, so he's got to have got some sort of pedigree, quality behind him. And again, is Conte, and I hate to say it, is Conte going to be outsmarted by another manager of a lower caliber than him, supposedly lower caliber? This is what I'm saying. We will see very clearly when he puts the team out what's going on. We'll see very clearly when they kick off what's going on. The crowd, they have to stay with everybody, stay with the players as much as possible, but the players have to also make the crowd stay with them. But home, we're not getting onto scores yet, but we shouldn't even be looking at this because it doesn't make any sense.
No, but don't forget, when we played them in a Carling Cup, we all said, it's going to be a walkover, we're going to go there, blah blah blah. Boom, they've done us over. So with this team now, honestly, I'm not expecting anything. I'm just now gonna, each game as it comes, I'm just gonna be like, all right, let's start. Yeah. Whatever happens.
Agreed.
You know, as they say, que sera. Whatever will be, will be. We're never going to Wembley. No way we're going to win the Champions League. Right. Previous meetings, and I think, as you said, this is going back to 1997, Nottingham Forest 2, Spurs 1. Then Nottingham Forest 1, Spurs 0. 1998, Spurs 2, Forest 0. 1999, Spurs 1, Forest 0. And the most recent was Sunday, the 28th of August, 2022, where we went to the City Ground and we beat them 2-0. Mm-hmm. So really, we can't really look at this because we've only played them once in the 2000s. So shall we just move on with this one?
Correct.
Yeah. Right. Form guide. Right, last 5. We lost 1-0 to Wolves away. They drew with Everton 2-2. We beat Chelsea 2-0. They lost to West Ham 4-0. We beat West Ham 2-0. They drew with Man City 1-1. We lost to Leicester 4-1. They lost to Fulham 2-0. Man City, we won 1-0. They beat Leeds 1-0. Now, me and yourself and I have had many, many, many discussions when we've done the form guide. Always on top, and then we end up getting beat. So, Form for me, this form guide doesn't mean nothing, because with Spurs, you don't know what you're going to get.
True.
Agree?
We have to look at this game by game. Now, where some of these games have fallen, there's been other results in between that have been terrible. You know, so you can look at the 2 Milan results being in there. You know, you can look at the FA Cup as well being in there. But if you looked at it just solely on Premier League, 3 wins, 2 losses, there's no draws in there. So you used to win couple of wins back to back against teams that we wanted to beat, and we did beat. That weekend against Wolves, I don't think any team in the Premier League won away. So again, it would have been a bit of a surprise to come away with victory, although we should have, because they're lower down in the table than us. The result that was terrible was the game against Leicester away. But again, away to Leicester, it can happen. We've seen how they can play. But looking at it just on the basis of these games in the Premier League, 3 wins, 2 losses, 9 points out of 15. It's not bad for a team that's supposedly not doing very well, struggling. But our problem being is we seem to not be able to keep clean sheets. We did that against our two biggest London rivals apart from Arsenal, Chelsea and West Ham. But everything else, do you know what I mean? We kind of recently just not been able to keep clean sheets. So we need to start from there. We need to get defensively right. Is he going to play Emerson? Is it going to be Porro? Is he going to throw Kamikaze, throw Porro on the left or Emerson on the left? I don't know. It's all about the team, Sid.
This is it. And looking at that, right, last 5 Prem games, what's quite surprising for me is the 2 games that we probably were expecting to lose, Chelsea, Man City, we won. The games that we expected to win, the Wolves, the Leicesters, and West Ham, we lost 2 of them. And one of them, we got absolutely mullered by Leicester, who then got mullered by Man United, who got mullered by Liverpool, who got mullered somebody else as well.
But look at those results. Hold on. Look, we beat Man City, we beat West Ham, we beat Chelsea. Yeah? Those 3 results, if you didn't have any of those other 2 results above them, that's a fantastic set of results to get at any stage. So if you'd have just thrown in a draw there against us, or even a draw there against Wolves, 1 loss in 5 games is no bad record, considering we played Chelsea, West Ham, and Man City, and Leicester away and Wolves away. The problem being is that we've had the games in between where it's just been turmoil, and now we're starting to see internal rumblings. That ain't going to make things better. This is why I said I don't know who's going to be running the show now. Is Conte just going to try and get these? How can he even have Richarlison in the squad? How is he going to have him? You know, I know player managers do that. They have him on the bench and they don't play him and stuff. But he's an integral part of the setup there. He likes to get involved. He's a bit of a joke. He's a bit of a. That's going to upset a lot of dynamics. And this is the problem. The dynamics in this fragile setup that we have means that Forest could come to us tomorrow, put it on us, score a goal, and then the wheels fall off.
Yeah. Do you know what? I've heard Anton Decker coming back. Spurs have Daniel Levy's asked Anton Decker to come and re-record Let's Get Ready to Rumble, because that's what's going to happen. That's what's happening in the dressing room. And I agree with you. Richarlison's a integral part of that dressing room with his banter.
100%.
Exactly. And now with what's happened and what Conte said and what he said, and then the rumblings about they're all begging Pochettino to come back and all that. That dressing room tomorrow, I would love to be a fly in that dressing room.
Listen, we're going to see, and I genuinely believe we're going to see some real strange selections. We might see a Tanganga thrown in there. Where's Tanganga been? I don't know, just gets thrown in now. You know, we might just get seen, I don't know who, a Danjuma thrown in there as well. Maybe that's a good thing because we ain't seen him play. But you know what I mean? We could get a midfield of Skip and Sarr. Højbjerg's on the bench. Why is he on the bench? Don't know. Who went
Alfie Divine. Alfie Divine could get a shout out, you know?
No, I don't think Conte's that kamikaze, really.
I know he's not.
But I'm just saying you could throw some combinations together that we just thinking, what's going on? Romero, what's his motivation? He's a World Cup winner this year.
Yeah.
A World Cup winner. He's done what he needs to do. He don't care. I'm saying this from a real footballing perspective. The players do not care. And if they don't care and the manager doesn't care, it's a recipe for getting tonked. And I mean getting tonked. And that could be at home. But if the players take personal responsibility, regardless of who gets sent out on the pitch, and it means leaders, Harry Kane, the Sons, because they'll play. They'll demand to play. You'll have players like Højbjerg. I was joking about him saying Skip and Sarr, but that's not going to happen because Højbjerg will demand to play. He starts throwing curveballs in like that, where he doesn't play Son, doesn't play Kane, or doesn't play Højbjerg, and these type of players, then we really are going to be in for a rocky road, mate.
Yeah, and just team news for tomorrow. So, like I said, Eric Dyer's in contention. However, Romero needs to be assessed because the way he done that tackle, got sent off, and then he laid on the floor for a while.
Yeah,
it looked to me like he's saying, you know what, I'm staying down, I'm going to feign injury, and I'm done for the rest of the season. I hope not, but that Perisic and Emerson are doubts. Perisic I hope he is doubts. I just hope he's doubts because what I've heard today as well is because of the Conte situation, he's now looking to go back to Inter Milan because he thinks his days are numbered if Conte leaves Spurs.
Yeah,
So
there's a lot of things going to happen. There's plenty to, and I think, like I said, we'll finish this preview show, and then we haven't done it for a while. We're not going to have many more midweek games apart from the ones in the Prem. So
yeah,
we'll try and do a talking points. We just need to really open up some wounds and see where we go and what fans actually think. Get some people's comments. I know you see Twitter's meltdowns, and everybody wants Enoch out, Levy out, Enoch out, Joe Lewis, but I'm telling you, just having new owners is not solving these problems.
of course
It
not.
might be the start, it might be a catalyst, but there's a whole host to be done at this club.
100%. And that's why, like you said, a talking points, an in-depth talking points is due, because there's a lot to talk. And there's a lot of, like you said, a lot of our followers as well have a lot to say about it as well. So it will be an interesting one. And what we will try and do, Sam, as well, I think, if you want to do it, is for some of these David Clarks and Mole Joe and Dinosaurs and Juice Nuts and all them lot, throw them into the equation and get them to come on and have a
like we said,
let's do it.
We'll put a link in. We'll put a link in there, and we'll try and get a couple people on at a time. If whoever wants to come on, maybe nobody wants to come on live. It doesn't. It's just about, what we don't want to do though is just have wars between fans. We want to have a discussion, talk about how you feel, obviously, but don't get at somebody else because they may have a different opinion to you about what's going on. It's not one problem. I keep saying that it's not one thing. So we'll do that, mate. Let's get on to the scores. Let's do the scores.
Right. Oh, one more. Sorry.
Oh, yeah. So
finish. This is some facts that I've got for you going into tomorrow's game. Spurs have failed to score a first half goal in 20 of their last 25 matches in all competitions. Tottenham's record after 26 Premier League games. This is interesting, Sam. Tottenham's record after 26 Premier League games, won 14, drawn 3, lost 9, is the same as the corresponding stage last season, when they won 8 of their final 12 matches to finish 4th. Spurs are aiming to win 4 consecutive home league fixtures without conceding for the first time since March 2018.
Yep.
Spurs have won 28 of their last 31 Premier League home games against newly promoted sides, with the only defeat in that run coming against Wolves at Wembley 2018-2019. Harry Kane has scored 3 goals in 3 appearances for Spurs against Nottingham Forest in all competitions. And this one, I was quite shocked. Son Heung-min has 98 Premier League career goals, but has only scored once from 51 shots in his 21 top flight starts this season, compared to 4 goals from 5 shots in his last 3 substitute appearances.
But according to some, Son's having a good season still. It's crazy. There's some serious stats in there about the one about the 21 times in 25 games we failed to score in the first half.
Yes,
That's a serious stat, considering how many goals we have scored, which shows you we don't start well. But that's a bit of a cliche now. It's not about not starting well. It's just the way of football is not the way that we look at, getting a goal early. Like how teams will attack in the first 50 minutes, they get a goal early. That's really what we should be doing at home, even away for some teams. Put them on the back foot, but we don't. Oh, he's gone. It's just me. So I hope Sid will come back in a little while, people, but he's just dropped out. So I'm just saying, we do need to do some serious work here in terms of the players. The players have to do some serious work. I took over for a little while, Sid, but you came back, and I was almost going to rant, but I didn't. So well done for coming back.
You know what? I don't know what I've done there. I sort of took ourselves off. Right. So, you want to carry on ranting?
No. I didn't do it. I was just going to go into my score and what I think we need to do. So let's do that bit then, if that's the bit we're on.
Yeah, let's
do. I need to get myself something to eat as well to soothe my depression.
Absolutely. So I'm just going to quickly do this, but where's it gone? Prediction, scroll. No, I don't want it. There we go, mate. Prediction for tomorrow's game. And I'll start with you, Sam.
Okay. again, we've done this for a number of times, and we was trying to keep scores and have a little bit of a competition, and it started to get a little bit because we can't even predict what's going on with Spurs.
Yeah.
My problem with these predictions are it does depend on the team, who starts, who doesn't start,
As always.
and we haven't got a clue what's going on. I can only go by how I feel about how these players should be feeling, and how, you know, they don't want to be embarrassed at home. You don't want to go again for another result where it's poor performance, because it just heaps more and more pressure on everybody at the club and associated with the club. So as I said, players will have to take responsibility, and because of that, I'm looking at the key players to be able to do what they need to do, and I'm looking at a 2-0 result, because I think if Forest score tomorrow at any point in the game, it's going to make us quiver, if I'm honest with you. So I'd be saying 2-0 Spurs, and we keep a clean sheet and we rumble on to the next game, because I think it's Southampton after that, is it?
Yeah.
The league?
Yeah, Southampton, yeah. Do you know what? I totally agree with you. We can't predict the scores because we don't know what team is going to be put out tomorrow, or any game with Conte. We don't know who he's going to start with, so it's hard to predict. However, the problem for me is Nottingham Forest are not a crap side. On their day, if they get it together, I mean, what's his name? Johnson, good player, fast, and they've got a few players in there as well.
Of course,
you know, and they're going to be looking at that. Steve Cooper doesn't need to do a team talk. They're probably going to be looking at them saying, you know what, these lot are fragile, they're vulnerable. Just go out there, run at them, because when you're going to run at them, they ain't going to have a clue, and just pagger them, put them under pressure. And Forest are the kind of team that are going to put us under pressure.
Yeah.
You know,
listen, this sorry to interrupt. This could go one of two ways. You know, this could be an opportunity for everybody to see collectively whether Spurs are going to get it together before and together for the end of the season, or they've already chucked the towel in. It could go one or two. I don't see a draw in this, and I keep saying we're a hit or miss team. But Forest are pretty much that as well. On a day they can, as you just mentioned, with the likes of those players, that they can score freely as well. They've scored freely in some games, and if they get it right tomorrow and we get it wrong, because we've seen that things can just be thrown in there. Let's just make a substitution at 89 minutes when from 84. It doesn't make sense when you're losing the game. It could happen because we're going to see madness. But I would be very, very, very disappointed if us as home fans don't get them players up, and the players don't want to just have some personal pride. And personal pride is going to be all that's going to get them through tomorrow if the management hasn't put them in a position to win collectively in the most responsible way.
Yeah, and I think we need to get Heather Small tomorrow at the stadium, because she can, before the game or after the game, what have you done today to make us feel proud?
Facts.
But you know what?
Yeah.
Again, I'm going to say this with my thinking head, right? I don't know about my heart. My heart's gone. He smashed it. They've shattered it. But I think we'll beat them 2-1. But that depends on the team that's put out and how Forest react. I think Forest will score. Definitely.
I think if Forest score first, I don't know if that will be the case, that we'll be able to drag it out unless there's a real dig deep mentality from these players. I think we have to score first, and I think we have to be probably 2-0 up to be comfortable. I don't think it's if it's a 2-1, like you said, I think it's got to be us winning 2-1, not 1-0, 1-1, that sort of thing, because that's too nervy for these players.
This is it. Right. So let's have a quick look at the comments and then we're off. David Clark, hi from Leicester. Hope you're all well. Dinosaur saying here, Levy put him out of his misery. The Conte interview was horrible. We know now Spence, Danjuma, maybe even Perisic are not the wing backs he wanted. Perisic is his man. He bought him. I'm sorry. No one can defend that guy. Well, he can't defend anyway, but no one should be anyway. Juice is asking, Sam is back. Yes, he is. Sam is back. Guess who's back? Guess who's back? At least someone had some fun in the last 2 weeks. We did.
What can I say?
Tottenham Hotspur Football Club. As fans, we had lots of fun. Oh, no. I think he's talking about you, Sam.
Fabulous.
Juice Nuts is saying the Asian Gary Lineker. Maybe because if Conte gets sacked, I think we should employ Mr. Blobby because he's good on charity. Yeah. Mr. Bean would do a better job. Juice Nuts is saying here. Dino saying Conte will start Richie, hopefully. Conte's challenge to Richie is to show me what you can do. Let's see.
I'm not sure about that. I mean,
No.
if just listening to those words and what you said about Richarlison, unless they've gone behind the scenes and had words themselves and made this up, I can't see that. That's the only way that will work. If they've got together and said, "Listen, man on man, we got to just sort this out between us," and if it's done and dusted, they can move on. If not, it ain't working.
Exactly. Richie has to produce, so Conte cannot drop him. But when you got Son available, then you know it's not gonna. David Clock is saying Spurs 1, Forest 0, Kane to score. And finally, David Clark, Sid Sam sounds like a seaside resort. Right. That was your preview for Spurs versus Nottingham Forest. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Watch out for Match of the Day 2 tomorrow. Oh, what's going on about that? Yeah. All we can do is, wish everyone going to the game tomorrow. Hope you have a good game. Because the last few times I've been, it's been boring as hell, and I'm not going tomorrow.
Me either. Just come back, so I can't get down again. So.
And Sean's not going either as well. So, you know what? We are Spurs fans, and at the end of the day, we want our team to win. So hopefully tomorrow, Spurs deliver. And on that note, have a great evening. We shall probably... Are you going to do a reaction show tomorrow?
Would you be able to possibly... Because I haven't got my PCs, I'm not back. Oh, right. Might be able to do it for Sunday. Let me see if I can set something up.
Cool.
Yeah.
Not a problem.
All right.
Watch out for the reaction show, guys and ladies. Have a great evening. And
nice one.
Come on, you Spurs.
Bye.